Hello everyone, welcome back to the Pastry Poet Kitchen. I am Chef Conway, and in my previous video I made some homemade buttermilk, and I am going to be using that same buttermilk and make some pound cake as a substitute for sour cream. So don't go no further, let's make this pound cake together. So you want to get a clean dry bowl, and to that you're going to be adding 240 grams of granulated sugar. Then you're going to add 230 grams of softened butter, and you want to cream that together. Here I'll be using an hand blender to cream it together for those who do not have a standing mixer. It's important to cream your butter and sugar properly because it helps to prevent you having a heavy cake. And so you want to pause and scrape down the side of your bowl, and then you're going to continue to cream your butter and sugar until it get light and fluffy. You don't want to pause it right here because the lighter and fluffier it is, it helps for your cake to be light. And then you're going to add your eggs, and here I'm adding 4 eggs, which I'm going to be adding 2 first, and then I'm going to incorporate those 2 eggs until it is fully combined, and then I'm going to be adding the next 2 eggs after that. The reason you don't want to add all your eggs all together is that you don't want your batter to coagulate where you see it starting to break, and so you want to gradually add your eggs. And in this case I add 2 first and then I add 2 after, and you want to continue mixing that until it combines together, it starts to incorporate evenly, and you can see the changes within the batter itself. You can see it looks smooth, it looks creamy. When your batter reaches this stage, you want to add your flour, and here I'm adding 240 grams of all-purpose flour with 8 grams of baking powder. Now the baking powder is already sifted inside the flour. Fun fact, when you sift your flour, it helps to incorporate more air inside your flour, giving you an airier cake and a lighter cake. Now, while combining your flour, you're going to add 10 grams of vanilla to your mix, and you're going to continue to incorporate that. And you want to slowly cut and fold your flour and everything that you're adding inside the mix, so that it will be incorporated evenly and thoroughly throughout the batter. And as you notice, the flour is coming on, it's incorporating inside your batter slowly and getting there surely. And so after this you want to add your salt. Here I'm adding 2 grams of salt, and then I'm going to continue to incorporate that inside the batter, and then I'm going to be adding 30 grams of lemon juice. And so you want to use the same cut and fold to incorporate your juice. When your lemon juice is fully incorporated, I'm going to be adding 30 grams of pancake syrup. Now if you don't have pancake syrup, you can use honey. And so you want to continue to mix and incorporate that until your batter becomes light and fluffy and fully incorporated, no lumps. There you go, smooth. Look at that, really smooth, really creamy. And so you want to continue to incorporate that. Then we're going to move on to adding some buttermilk. Now this buttermilk is my homemade buttermilk, and you can look into the description below where I'm going to be adding the video of how to make your own homemade buttermilk. And so you want to continue to slowly incorporate this. Now you want to go real slow here because you do not want your buttermilk to be spilling all over the place. And when your buttermilk starts to incorporate, then you can start to apply your cut and fold even more. And while your buttermilk is mixing, you can look at the texture of it. There you go, you want it just like this to be slowly running off your spatula. And so it's time to pour your butter into your prepared grease loaf pan. Now I'm pouring this into this pan. I'm using 2 pans in this, but the recipe is good enough to make 1 pan. If you want a large cake, you can go ahead and pour it into 1 loaf pan. I wanted 2 small cakes, so I'm using 2 loaf pans for this one. So you want to divide your butter into 2 for 2 loaf pan, or if not, just go ahead and pour all of your butter into 1 loaf pan. And then you want to place those into your oven, which is already been preheated at 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 180 degrees Celsius, and that's going to be baked for 1 hour and 15 minutes. And here is your finished result, just come from out of the oven. And now it's time to make your icing. And here I have 150 grams of icing or powdered sugar and 30 grams of lemon juice, and you want to mix that until it's fully combined, and the texture should be like this. When you lift up your whisk, it should flow off just like this. And then you want to pour that on top of your cake, and you want to go with a zigzag motion from top to bottom. And then you're going to use, if you have an offset spatula, you can use it, but here I'm using a cranked palette knife. And this is easy to spread your icing on top of your cake. And you want to go from top to bottom, you want to go from side to side. You just want to spread it evenly until you feel it start to set. Then you want to go over and pour a little bit more of your icing, and then you want to spread that. If you pour all at once, then it's just going to run off your cake, and you don't want that. So that's why you're going to pour it in 2 separate motions. So after your icing is spread evenly, then you want to decorate your cake. Here I'm using some sprinklers on it, and you can use anything you wish. You can use rainbow sprinkles, you can use chocolate sprinkles. You can even color a portion of your icing and just zigzag on top. You can pipe chantilly, anything you want is up to you. This is the fun part. And here your cake, you want to slice that, and look how beautiful this is. The grains are even inside of it, and this is what you want. This is the texture that you want. You can see it's rich, it's fluffy, it's light, and that's what you really want. And look at the texture of this one. If you don't get this texture, then you might have made a mistake, or you may have to remake this one. I'm sorry, but look at your pound cake. Really light, really moist. And here you have it, lemon pound cake. This cake is very soft, very moist, rich in flavor. You're going to want to try this one. Do me a favor, just hit that like button and hit that subscribe button so that you'll be notified when more videos are out. Until next time, stay tuned for more.